Hey, so I've been asked to do a review of Qrings. Basically, I've got some on my bike here, and I've had a few people ask me, can you do a review on them? I've done a few rides on my TT bike already, but what attracted me to Qrings was, like quite a lot of people kind of see it as a bit of a gimmick. But what happened was I fitted some to a customer's bike and took it for a test ride, and I actually thought I had a tailwind at first, but when I turned around, I actually had a headwind. So that straight away made me realise that something was happening here. I did a few other experiments when riding it, and straight away, yeah, they do work for me. I'm not saying they work for everyone, and apparently they don't work for everyone. But if you're the kind of rider who has a particularly bad pedal stroke, like I do, they do help smooth that out. They do say, well, some people do say that if you have a good high cadence, you're able to spin a lot, like Chris Froome and stuff, you don't need to go to a Qring. And there's a lot of emphasis saying that a Qring just helps you put the power down. So if you're kind of a guy who mashes, then a Qring's going to help you. But I don't agree with that. I am a spinner. I do have quite a high cadence, and I found it work really well for me. I think it's something like 70% or something of the peloton, the pro peloton, use Qrings. You don't see them on the outside because the sponsors like Shimano, SRAM, Campag, etc. don't want you to have somebody else's rings on their group set. But apparently a lot of them have the inner ring as a Qring, so on the climbs they do get the benefit from the smoothness of power, the better power transfer, better torque. So basically, what is a Qring? I mean, how does a Qring work? Well, basically, you may be aware the Qring's got the oval shaped chainring. They do a standard, and they also do a QXL. The QXL basically is 15% bigger ovalization, and it's not a ring you should go to straight away. You should always go to standard Qring and then build up to the QXL. The reason why Qrings are ovalized, well, not to get confused with BioPace, which Shimano brought out many years ago when I was into cycling, started into cycling. But basically, what it does, it basically puts a bigger part of the chainring on the most powerful part of your pedal stroke. So, as you probably aware, when you put a power down on the pedal, kind of from 1 o'clock down to kind of 4 o'clock, you've got a lot of power, and then as soon as your pedal hits the bottom of its stroke, it gets weaker. So if you say you plot a standard round chainring power output, it'd be like that, like a spike. So when you push down, power goes up, and as your foot comes around, the power goes down. So you end up with this like spiky graph, and that also translates to torque, to tie grip. So if you're mountain bike, for example, you don't have a continuously turning of the wheel, so your grip's not going to be consistent. You've got this kind of like jerky sensation when you're pedaling. Now they don't feel it. That's technically what's happening. So that's how that's why you wash out and stuff when you're climbing up hills on in a low gear. You tend to wash out more. With a Qring, it doesn't do that. It kind of smooths out the power, so you end up with like a smoother, more of a sine wave, I guess, effect of power being transferred to the back wheel. And that basically smooths everything out. It makes it feel a lot better, and I do find I've had an increase in power since I've gone to Qrings. They do say people like Bradley Wiggins, for example, shouldn't be using Qrings, coming from a track background, really high cadence, really smooth pedaling stroke. Qrings shouldn't really help him, but he does like him, and he does obviously work for him as well. And another thing as well, I read somewhere that Qrings, Rotor don't sponsor anyone. People basically ask to use their products, and they get given them. So if you see someone using Qring, it's basically because they want to use it, not because they're getting paid to do it. The shifting on them, people always say, they're going to shift really badly because you've got a big gap between the front mech. Not had a single problem yet, and I've got friends who use them. They haven't had a problem either. It's quite funny because when there's something new comes out and there's a slight problem with it, say someone sets a mech up incorrectly on a Qring, goes up for a ride, and drops the chain. Oh, it's a fucking Qrings, it suddenly gets a bad reputation. But how many times you've been out on a ride and you see someone drop a chain on a round chain ring? It happens quite a lot, and you can't really blame the chain set. It's usually the actual setup of the front mech. So make sure if you do get them, have them set up properly. Get a mechanic to do it, or do it yourself if you're competent. But just make sure you get it done properly. The actual shifting from ring to ring is really good. The actual pickup of the chain rings is really smooth. I haven't had any issues with that. If you do get a QXL and it's quite a big ring, you do have to get a mech adapter on the front just to offset the mech a bit. So just bear that in mind if you do go for those. If you have a bike, like a Sabella for example, they come with rotor chain sets and rotor rings. They only come with rotor round rings, but if you want Q rings, you can basically go to we should be able to go to the person who sold you the bike and say I want to swap these out for Q rings, and they swap them for free of charge. There's no charge. It's something that Rotor are trying to do and help customers basically get on the wagon, I guess, of using Q rings. Also, don't be frightened of buying Q rings. If you buy them from a reputable shop, they should come with a 30-day money back guarantee. So basically, you can take them away, try them for 30 days. If you don't like them, bring them back. So that's it, really. I say it's not for everyone. They are quite expensive. I don't think they look particularly nice, especially on the little Tegra chain set. They do have like bungs for the Dura Race ones because of the crazy offset. So they look a bit better on Dura Race cranks than they do on little Tegra. But I think the actual ring itself looks a bit shit. It's not very sexy, to be fair, but it actually look nice from the inside with all the sculpting and machining out. But yeah, as a performance upgrade, that's what I was into. I just want extra power, I want extra smoothness on the pedal stroke, and that's what I'm getting from them. So that's it. Post your comments, questions down below, and I'll see you down the road. Peace.